Do you enjoy reasonable amounts of nostalgia? Is turning back the clock something that really just excites you? And don't you find it funny that old Frank Poole still couldn't get his stocks disked over? Well, we'll have all of that and more here in this quick little short of John Deere Drive Green, except it's Farm Sim 22. Let's get into it.
I'm feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life.
Well, top of the morning to you, ladies. My name's Z-Railman Buck, and welcome to FS22, except it's a makeshift version of John Deere Drive Green. If you don't remember this game, you're either too young to understand or we just cannot be friends. Because today we're going to be reenacting one of the best farming games to ever come out, but also one of the most simplistic and once you actually beat the game, pointless games on the face of planet Earth. I'm not going to run the third person the entire time because I kind of can't stand this camera. But yeah, if you were a fan of nostalgia and you really just kind of like to bring back some memories, I did my absolute best that I could to find and either make the exact things that made this game what it was when it came out way early, and I can't even remember what year that game came out. I think it was like 2009 or something. The most accurate tractor that is actually on this farm that was in the game is the 9620. This tractor was as is in the game. The certain tractors that I couldn't find exact were like the 5425, it's the 5403, but it still kind of makes the same looking tractor. And then the 8530 was actually an 8520, but it's still running the same row crop setup and the full front weight rack. Now some of the implements that they used, like what was a 2410 without the wings on it, it was just a 2410 like single section. They said it was a 627 disc. We're going to use our 2660 a vertical till here to go and disc up old Frank Poole's corn stalks, and the 5406 ain't going to be able to pull that. So we're going to use our 8530 here and go and help Frank till up them corn stalks. To finish out the video, though, we're also going to be mowing up our yard, kind of cleaning things up. We have the 9860 sitting in this shed, as well as the 4730, even though the sprayer was a 4830, and they kind of never really let you plant corn correctly, so we are on No Creek with the row crop. This is a row crop planter, but we might actually go out and seed some wheat with our 1590 seed drill. This one was pulled behind the 8520 as well, and then of course I just got the service truck and then my pickup sitting up there. But I have $0, or as I would like to say at the start of Deere Drive Green, 0 Deere coins. Let's go help out old Frank Poole. I even am rocking the exact same outfit. You're able to make the John Deere Drive Green outfit in Farm Sim. That's what makes this even better. And if you guys have not already, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. If you like nostalgic content like this and you want to see more, be sure to leave a comment in the description down below. As you guys know, we are on the race to the 100,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. And doing stuff like this is just, it's so much fun because I remember actually playing John Deere Drive Green, and back when I was trying to pick between FS13 and this game, I ended up picking Farm Sim. I felt like it'd be better over the years went by, and boy was I right. But John Deere Drive Green, as we know, is one of the most cemented farming games of the early to late 2000s, and you just can't beat it. But it's kind of fun that we can actually reenact that same mission. I can just imagine picturing my Deere coins popping up right now. I should just be adding $1 for every like quarter mile that I drive. Now they never clarified what Frank's old red tractor was, but in its place I have a 7130 Magnum with, I believe, a 690 case disc. He kind of got started, but it started blowing white smoke, so kind of needs to get it into repair, but he also is looking to possibly just get a new tractor in general. We'll roll into the field, and we're going to start tilling up some corn stalks. Now, for those of you guys that don't already know about the No Creek row crop map, What I've understood is that somebody finally took the game's physics and made them work in a way, because I actually harvested this field, I planted this field, don't make fun of me, I really realized how bad my planting skills actually were, but it's a good thing to kind of learn. It's a really fun process, but the row crop system itself, you physically get to plant and harvest the corn as though you were actually doing row crop. But so far this disc is pulling really, really well. I love the feeling of it, and this tractor is just kicking along just fine. I actually would really consider running this tractor a lot more now because of the tire option I put on it. But No Creek itself, I know a lot of people have been asking me if I was ever going to do anything with No Creek or the row crop in general, and I hate to say it, here it is. I'm doing it. I think the coolest part about this mod also, pretty much so far, is when you go around disking the end rows, or you're just disking in general, all of those lines in between are the actual, like, disc marks. Like, where the planting, where you see the dark versus the lighter dirt is where the crop actually was planted. Like, that's the rows. So you really are planting the real-life rows. And that is so cool because, like, when you get right up to here when I was planting, it just gets super, super crowded. And when you're harvesting, it's so hard to, like, look down the rows on the inside of the combine. Like, I couldn't physically look down the snoots because the crop is actually planted like it really is. Like, the corn going this way was super close together, but then you look down the rows and it physically is planted in rows. Grant let me plant corn earlier back in the spring, which if you guys want to check that video out, I did a real life farm video with the Hilberts out at the farm in spring, and then I just did a harvest video earlier, so check that one out too if you wanted. But I'm going to jump up in the sky, get Daryl into the tractor here, and we'll send him on his way to start disking back and forth, and we'll catch some really cool shots with the drone. So, helping out old Frank Poole with Daryl at the helm and me on the drone. Let's get some good shots.
Every day. Still remember the smell of your car when you drove me down to that lake. Felt so good staying up all night. That will forever be our place. And I know it's been a long time since we were together. There's a special place in my heart that's yours forever. If I could fly right back to where I belong.
So Daryl popped out. He's now going to be running back to the farm, and this has been fun. But I'm going to finish out these last little corn stalks here on Frank Poole's field, and we'll give ourselves a couple deer coins and get on to our next mission. Hopefully Frank makes it the right choice coming back towards harvest season on what tractor that he uses. I hope that our little demonstration here helps out with his decision, but to each their own. We'll see what happens. Now, even though we don't have the exact same lawnmower, we do, however, have a John Deere lawnmower, the 330 here. And we're going to make the best of it with our not so... I didn't know these things had non-turning steering wheel decals. That's new. I think one of my favorite references, though, has to be the outfit and how accurate you can actually make it. Engage our deck here, though. Lower it down and start cutting away. But it's pretty cool as is on how Farm Sim works, where you can kind of, you know, have everything out at once. The one thing that really did kind of suck about Deere Green was the fact that you could really only have two implements out at the same time. That being, like, the header for the combine and the combine itself. You never dumped the combine into a wagon, so they never had a use of having a grain cart in the game. Farm Sim lets you do that, but if you guys wanted to actually see me make like a Drive Green series out of the No Creek, please let me know down in the comments. As right now, this is pretty much just me making a version of that farm, but if you guys wanted to see me actually farm with the Drive Green setup of stuff, I would love to make this a farm in a series on the No Creek. It'd still probably fall under the same category of, I follow like the seasonal order of content. It's like right now it'd be tillage season, getting ready for winter. But we also, if you guys wanted, I can almost make this like a cycling. So I just, one video we're tilling, the next video we're harvesting, the next video we're spraying, the next video it never really follows a seasonal cycle. Now that we got that little chunk cleaned out, let's kind of clean up just a little bit here around the shed. I think a lot of these are just weeds. There's not a whole lot of actual grass. There we go. Yeah, let's kind of clean up a little bit around our sheds here. And by the power of camera magic, there is our yard, all nice and cleaned up. Got all the weeds taken care of, and I think what I'll actually end up doing here... Oh, not turning the mower back on. I think we'll actually hook up the 1590 seed drill, and we're actually going to go plant a little bit of wheat. There's no real use in using the flex swing right now, because there's not really anything to go and cut, plus that mower doesn't flex to the ditch. But I kind of just want to capture, like, all of the real nostalgic missions that game had to offer. And one of those that I can't really do right now because there'd be no point in it, because you can't really go spray, is to use the what would be 830, but the 4730. This is the converted one. I think it was done by LR Modding. They're actually working on one for the new, like a new one, and I believe it's a 49. And with our 1590 now fully loaded with wheat seed, we're going to roll over to field 28, which if we go onto our little map here, is just in the bottom left-hand corner. 29's a little bit big, but I think 28 will probably be the best. And I think if I remember correctly, when we go and plant beans with this, when we go and plant wheat with this in Drive Green, this is about the same size of field. Because the missions always were set up to where it took you a little bit longer, because you could never hire a worker, but it never was like agonizingly overdone. But this is definitely one of the more accurate setups to the missions that you had to do in the game. And I know this one doesn't require row crop to actually plant, so the ridge markers are not really as much of an importance on this one. Got a little tree canopy coverage, Bambi in the ditch. I repeat, Bambi is in the ditch. Got a little field entrance here. It goes towards the minimum maintenance road, but I don't have to worry about that. I think I'm putting two together that this is actually also running not the row crop like system of planting, but like if I were to sway left to right, the beans, the wheat itself, the lines seem to curve a lot more than generic FS is. Like if I were to go like this, the lines like just slightly angle. I don't know what the heck happened there. Oh, probably the drop off.
The drop off? Why don't we just fry them up now and serve them with chips?
Now that I got the headlands done, even though as wheat and soybeans go, it's like it doesn't really matter. It's all going to get cut by the header anyway. Doesn't really matter how you plant it. I'm going to cut the field in half and let Daryl kick away again. So let's get even more nostalgic shots. Well, I think that's probably going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for checking this one out. Like I mentioned earlier, if you guys do want to see an actual, like, farm series of the John Deere Drive Green setup, please let me know down in the comments, as I would actually love to make this a series. It kind of gives a new sense of content to the channel, and I'd be pretty excited for this one. I really did love John Deere Drive Green growing up as a kid. I actually still have it installed on my computer. But be sure to check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who is in it, and I shall see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.